Ladies and gentlemen, I am Adil Raja. I am a journalist based in the UK. I am a Pakistani political dissident as well. I'm a member of the National Union of Journalists. I'm a former Pakistan Army officer from one of the fighting arms. I've served the Pakistan Army for 21 years as a major. And now I am being considered a whistleblower by the Pakistan Army because I fight for democracy. I speak against the influence of Pakistani military establishment in the Pakistani politics. And that is why I have been persecuted by the Pakistani regime, by the Pakistani authoritarian government. Even here in the UK, for the last 3 years, I've been speaking up for the human rights of the poor people of Pakistan, South Asia, overall around the world. And I've been speaking up for democracy, and I've been speaking up in support of Imran Khan, who I believe has been illegally incarcerated. And because of this advocacy, I have been court-martialed in absentia, awarded 14 years rigorous imprisonment by the Pakistani authoritarian state, irrespective of being a third-generation Pakistan Army officer who is a war-wounded officer, who have served various war zones, who have fought alongside the British Army, the International Security Assistance Force as well. That really didn't stop them to register a terrorism case against me here in the UK, for which I was arrested and I was interrogated by the counterterrorism police for almost 9 months, and it ended with no further action. Then I faced a strategic lawsuit against public participation. Well, it didn't end there. I was attacked here in the UK. I currently live as a police protected address, and most recently my home was attacked. And then again, day before yesterday, I have been declared a terrorist for speaking up for democracy in my country, and placed in Schedule 4 of the Pakistani government, the Pakistani federal cabinet. Well, they declared me a proscribed person. And just before that, the Pakistani Home Minister met the British High Commissioner in Pakistan, in Islamabad, Jane Marriott, and he traveled to London and he asked for my extradition alongside an extradition of a former Imran Khan minister and a fellow dissident, Shahzad Akbar. And you won't believe it, but they also offered that they are willing to take the Pakistani origin grooming gang members if we are handed back to Pakistan, because we speak truth to power and we are paying the cost. And I hand you over to Tony Gosling.
Okay, well, thanks, Adil. And you know what? It's almost like you can imagine little children looking at this and watching and saying, is this real or is it a film? Is it a fiction? Because we're living in that sort of crazy fictional world where somebody who is trying to stop a genocide can be labeled a terrorist, arrested as a terrorist, taken away in a Black Maria in the central London, even though they're 70, 80 years old. And all they're saying is that we don't want genocide, and that we support direct action against genocide. So this is a surreal world we're in right now. And what we're going to do is try and pick some of that apart, Adil. And we'll come on to some of the problems that you've been having the last few months, particularly with the slap in a minute. But first of all, can you just give us a bit of an update on what's been going on in Pakistan? Because this business of Imran Khan, still many people, of course, know him from the world of sport and cricket. They know he's a very popular, very successful, and actually very articulate and an intelligent man who managed to capture the hearts of the Pakistanis to such an extent that they wanted him to be their leader. Seems to me that the plans are elsewhere from outside the country as well, trying to do something to stop the Pakistani people actually having someone leading them who they want and they support in that job.
Yeah, well, Tony, the problem with Imran Khan is that at the moment he's still incarcerated, and I mean, he's been awarded almost a century of prison by the kangaroo courts of Pakistan, because the courts are no more free in the country. The Islamabad High Court judges themselves wrote to the Supreme Court, and they said that, listen, the Pakistani intelligence agency ISI has put cameras in our bedrooms, and if we speak up, our relatives are abducted, and they are tortured to an extent that one judge complained of the Islamabad High Court that my brother-in-law got arrested and his private parts were electrocuted by the Pakistani intelligence agency. The ISI was named directly by the Islamabad High Court judges. So the judiciary is not independent because of various constitutional reforms. The Pakistani military and the Pakistani army chief, Asim Munir, have almost taken complete control of the country, and the government, which current government, which was empowered, or which is a puppet government, of course, but it was put into power after a rigged election, which was acknowledged by a leaked report now by the Commonwealth Election Observation Mission, and the European Union Election Observation Mission refuses to release the report because they believe that it's going to impact the diplomatic relation with Pakistan, since Pakistan is supplying ammunition. The Pakistani military, which actually rigged the election allegedly, is supplying ammunition to the Ukraine war. So they are worried about that, obviously. So the political considerations of the European Union and the UK to some extent are overshadowing the democracy in Pakistan. So now coming over to Imran Khan, the problem with Imran Khan is that Imran Khan, once he came to power of a struggle of 27 years, he was loved by the people, but he also believed that he has to make an arrangement with the Pakistani military in order to come to power at least once for the first time. So he made that arrangement with the military. So some would say that it was a deal with the devil, but Pakistani history, ever since it got free from the British colonial rule, tells you of this one fact, that you have to, the military has been ruling the country all along, starting from its inception. But the brief periods of civilian rule have been with the blessings of the military. And the civilian leadership has always either they've hanged like Bhutto, or they've been assassinated by like Benazir Bhutto, or if they're from Punjab, fine, they are given a way out, like Nawaz Sharif was given a way out, and he came and lived here in the UK and went back and got hold of power as a result of an election rigging. I'm not saying alleged election rigging, as a result of the election rigging. But by that time, the problem with Imran Khan is that Imran Khan, he positioned himself as leader of the Muslim world. And a lot of Muslim world's monarchies, especially the Arab monarchies, they are scared of political Islam. In particular, the United Arab Emirates. A lot of people love to travel to Dubai and they want to live there, but they know the human rights conditions over there. They can't say nothing over there. You can't even make vlogs without the permission of the government in the UAE. So UAE is traditionally opposed to the political Islam, and in the region, if you see, UAE is aligned after the Abraham Accords with Israel as well. So political Islam is seen as a threat. That is why UAE actively opposed the Egyptian Morsi regime, and they empowered General Sisi. Likewise, they empowered Field Marshal Haftar in Libya. So they are, empowering various factions. And right now, the latest in the series of this, anti-political Islam stint, because the UAE obviously considered that political Islam to be a threat for their monarchies. Small country has got this monarchy. They don't have strategic depth like Saudi Arabia has got it. So the problem with them is that they are against political Islam. So Imran Khan ruffled a lot of feathers, not only in the Muslim world, but also in the West, once he gave the famous United Nations speech in which he said that we are going to, if you're going to, in which he tried to position, in fact, he successfully positioned himself as leader of the Muslim world. So that really scared a lot of people, because Imran Khan comes from a modern background. He was a playboy turned spiritual leader turned popular, the most popular leader of Pakistan, without any doubt, a country of 250 million. So that scared a lot of people, whereas Imran Khan did not have any kind of intention as such. But the Pakistani military saw an opening over there, because at that time, the Imran Khan's opposition, namely the Nawaz Sharif's party, his younger brother Shehbaz Sharif is the prime minister now, and his daughter is the chief minister of Punjab. and Mr. Zardari, who's the president, they were looking, to find a way to topple Imran Khan government and come to power. So, but the way was given by the Pakistani army chief, the previous army chief, General Bajwa, who presented Imran Khan as a threat to the US and to the West and to the Arab world as well. How was he able to do that? Well, the Pakistani security establishment told Imran Khan to visit Moscow on the eve of Imran Khan didn't know, nobody knew, but obviously Pakistan security establishment did know, because they've got they've got officers sitting in US CENTCOM, the permanent posting of Pakistani army officer in US CENTCOM. So they knew what's going on in Ukraine and in Russia. But even then, they asked Imran Khan to visit Moscow, visit Putin on a state visit. And while Imran Khan was there in Moscow, Putin attacked Ukraine. And Imran Khan, the way he is, the military knew that he's not going to cut his visit short, and he's not going to support Ukraine invasion, of course, but he will complete his visit. So Imran Khan did complete his visit and came back, and that was sold to Washington D.C. as a symbol of defiance. So the American government, the Biden administration, Assistant Secretary of State Donald Liu met the Pakistani ambassador in Washington and told him that you need to get rid of Imran Khan. And the Asad Majid was the name of the ambassador. He wrote it in the cipher that this is what the Americans, Assistant Secretary of State, meaning the American government, want, that they want us to remove Imran Khan. Otherwise, they are saying that you're either with us or against us, like they've said after 9/11. So that became a reason for orchestrating a regime change against Imran Khan through these political actors who were known to be, who were propagated as thieves by the Pakistani military itself. And they were
you've just explained to me, what my Pakistani friends say. Yes, it was the Americans, and you've just explained in detail. What do you think would happen if Donald Trump had been in charge? Would it be any different, Adil? Would there have been a different outcome?
You see, the Pakistani people, Tony, always believed that Donald Trump would be a different man, because he initially had a friction with Imran Khan, but they had good terms. Donald Trump, invited Imran Khan and his wife, Miliana. She also met Imran Khan, and Imran Khan is in good books of the US. So, but if your question is if Donald Trump was the president, well, Donald Trump, as now we know that he means business. So if Imran Khan would have been beneficial for the US, for the Trump administration, he would have supported him. Definitely, he would have asked him directly. Imran Khan had a direct relationship with Trump, so he would not have listened to the Pakistani army chief. Biden, in fact, he did not have a direct relation with Imran Khan. He was being fed this nonsense by his advisors. So he did not ask Imran Khan directly what did he think. So I believe if President Trump was there, he would have asked Imran Khan directly that what's going on, why are you in Moscow? So he would have been able to explain him the reason. So things might have been different, definitely.
Yeah, well, I think you may be right. Sorry, the thing is that with the current situation, you can imagine that Trump has got bigger fish to fry right now, trying to get Ukraine sorted out, having get the Gaza ceasefire. He's trying to start an attempt to grab 20% of the world's oil reserves in Venezuela. He's got that on his plate as well. So maybe this has fallen down the hierarchy. But of course, one thing the US military will be leaning on the Americans still at CENTCOM, for example, is, and I'm not sure, where is CENTCOM?
Well, the CENTCOM is it's headquartered in Bahrain. It's got different.
In Bahrain.
Okay. Yeah, its main headquarters in Tampa, Florida.
Right.
And,
because this is an important
headquarters in Bahrain. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an important office. This is basically the Pentagon's office for dominating this part of the world. That's what they want to do. And that's why they're sitting down there with these army officers. But they will be, if Trump so much as says, why can't we get Imran Khan out of prison? They will be saying, well, yeah, but this is the Muslim bomb. This is one of the things that is a big, massive, actually, influence in the world, is the fact that Pakistan does have nuclear weapons. And obviously they're trying to stop the Iranians getting nuclear weapons. So the nuclear card, I wonder if you think that's been an important part to play in all of this. The Americans mainly trying to make sure that you don't get an independent president in Pakistan all the time that Pakistan has got the Muslim bomb.
Yeah, Tony. Well, I've been meeting various diplomats, in London as well, and higher-ranking diplomats, and I cannot name them because they don't want me to. That's how diplomats are. But what I gather from discussions with them, especially Western diplomats, high-ranking diplomats, is that they believe that Pakistan is involved in nuclear blackmail. So their only angle to look at Pakistan is from this nuclear angle, from nuclear blackmail angle, or the way the Pakistani nuclear capability has been marketed across the world as the Islamic bomb. So obviously they're worried about it. But let me tell you, Pakistani military has always fashioned itself as a very liberal force. But that's not true. Pakistani fighting strategy is based on the political Islam. Yes, the officers, the generals, well, they're very modern. They're like the present army chief. He will give you verses of Quran in the daytime. In the evening, he's reportedly very fond of drinking whiskey. Right next to his house is the only, Pakistani export-oriented brewery. Now he's allowed license of export to the Murray Brewery, the biggest brewery there is, and it was established before partition, more than 100 years ago. And that's an Islamic country, mind you. So there's a huge hypocritical attitude within the Pakistani military itself. But the Pakistani military have successfully marketed itself as this great liberal force, which is not true, mind you, because I've served in the Pakistani military 21 years. Yes, they have been looking after national interests, but personal interests have always superseded. Personal interests of those on the top have always superseded the national interests of Pakistan. Tony, if the British Army chief, for example, he can just walk into a restaurant and sit there and eat with you, and British general or the chief general staff or high-ranking generals, well, they roam around and they just, you can't really tell that, well, he is the high-ranking lieutenant general or he's a major general. In Pakistan, if they roam around with the kind of protocol which you can't even imagine, the Keir Starmer to be having, So they're the one who are ruling the country, and we always.
Well, you mean really high security, yeah?
Well, Tony, it's a high protocol, I would say. It is about protocol. We used to be mocked by outsiders that other countries have got armies, and the Pakistan army has got a country to itself, which I now believe is true, actually. So that is how it is, because they're running all the businesses in the country. The latest purchase of the Pakistani National Airline has been purchased by a businessman, but the major shareholder is the Pakistani military through its companies, through its military incorporated companies. Only businesses which are being successfully run in Pakistan right now on a monopoly and with tax breaks are the Pakistani military businesses. So they've got a regime in which a Pakistani military general becomes a multi-millionaire because of the benefit structure they've got, and to maintain that benefit structure, which is a mercenary setup, mind you, to maintain that structure, they need to have complete control over the country. So that is actually what is going on. And
well, this is what the British and the Americans. The British and the Americans seem to want to do this around the world as this kind of post-colonial con. Really, and the same exact thing has been going on in Egypt, where the Egyptian military, the senior officers in the Egyptian military own half the country. But this is a tactic, it seems to me, to manage the political system through a strong military who are rewarded with massive land estates, enormous amounts of money, big business empires, in order to run the country really from behind the scenes, with a kind of pantomime going on for the public. I wonder, would you say that the Pakistan politics now is analogous to a pantomime?
Obviously, it is. It's a circus, I would say. And if you're blaming the Western countries, the UK and the USA, I think we need to look inward first. Who doesn't like a one-window operation? When these military dictators in Egypt and Libya and Pakistan, it's a one-window operation for the West. They need to get a job done. They don't have to go to the various government departments. They don't have to go to the parliaments to get the laws passed. They just ask this one guy. They just, buy him out or look the other way once he's conducting gross human rights violations, and or give him the house guard if he comes to London. All right, give him a meeting with the king, and there you go. He's going to do your job. That's all what he needs. Yeah. So who can blame him? So it's a
Well,
circus.
this is still colonialism, isn't it? This is still a colonial system.
It's a neo-colonialism. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so can you tell us what's been happening with you? Because I know that the ISI were after you. How did that case go?
Yeah, well, you're talking about the strategic lawsuit against public participation. Well, Tony, the thing is, the UK is the libel tourism capital of the world. All right, yes. And the laws have been written by the lords, not by the peasants. All right, so I'm not going to say much more about it because I've gone into appeal, and I want to believe in the British justice system, and with that belief, I just want to believe, all right, that there is a rule of law in the United Kingdom. And it is not only these reputation lawyers of London are not making millions and millions of pounds and they have been making millions and millions of pounds because of this business of libel tourism. You know, anybody from anywhere can come and they can say that, well, this guy has said this. All right, fine, we've said that. And in 2013, there have been changes in the rules of libel tourism by the parliament, in which the claimants have to come forward, the plaintiff have to come forward, and they have to they have to give proof of serious harm. But the implementation of the laws is so slow that journalism is not journalism anymore, Tony. You were telling me today before our interview that you were reading the Daily Mail and you thought that this entire paper is so soulless. Why is it soulless? Because everybody is worried about, you know, a libel suit of millions of pounds, which you cannot fight. All right. So definitely, you know, it's if you got a couple of millions of pounds, and states have got that, oligarchs have got that, and spy chiefs coming to UK and, you know, suing a journalist, a former Pakistan Army officer, a dissident, and getting a chit for themselves that listen, and then they go back to the countries and they say, listen, look at this, a court in London, the High Court of London, have cleared us, given us a clean chit. I mean, this is a mockery of justice, and this is, I would say that this is really, really disheartening, to say the least.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of this going on. The SLAP, for anyone that doesn't know, stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. And you're not the only case that this has been going on at all in the UK. But anyway, if you don't want to say much more about that, that's fine. But what about the most recent developments over the last few days?
Yeah, Tony, on Christmas Eve, somebody broke into my house, but we would have, you know, rubbed it off as a burglary because a lot of
so were you there?
Like happened on Christmas. No, I wasn't there. I wasn't at home. My family wasn't at home. We are traveling. We are not in England. So as you know, but my protection, because since I've been threatened again and again, and the police now believes that I've got a serious threat from state level actors. So they're protecting me. It's very kind of them. And I believe in the British law and order system because they are protecting me at my own expense. But they're spending a lot of resources on my protection. And successfully, they've been protecting me. So I must commend their efforts. And I'm thankful. I'm grateful for that. But I was told by the police on the 26th of December, the police rang me up. The police responsible for my protection, the specialist police officer, rang me up and said there have been, you know, a call from neighbors that there have been a break-in. So we are sending the uniform police guys and we'll go over there. So eventually found out that there was a break-in and they left. They didn't take anything. They didn't take anything, but they left a kind of a message that, yeah, we can break in. It happened a day after the fellow dissident barrister Shahzad Akbar's who was attacked at his house in Royston last year, and who was a witness in my case, in my strategic lawsuit against public participation, witness of defense. Acid was thrown at his face at his doorstep in Royston near Cambridge, and now he's shifted to Cambridge. And somebody walks into his house. I was supposed to do a podcast with him, so I asked him that, where are you? And he said, I'm in hospital. So I found out that just an hour before we were supposed to do the podcast, almost around 8 in the morning, somebody rang up the doorbell and he opened the door, and somebody wearing mask, coverall, and wearing gloves violently attacked him, broke his nose and left him bloodied. His two young daughters, his wife, they were, scared. Definitely they were scared. And that's what happened, and he was a high-value target. And he was the only other person beside me who was named to be extradited in exchange for the Pakistani origin British grooming
Well,
gang
I think
members.
people can draw their own conclusions. But anyway, could you? I mean, maybe if you had been at home, something similar could have happened to you. Tell us a bit more about this guy. Who is he? Remind us of his name and tell us a bit more about him.
Yeah, he was Imran Khan's accountability minister. His name is Shahzad Akbar. He's a human rights lawyer, and he's currently residing in the UK ever since 2022. And he lives in Cambridge, and he's still quite active once it comes to the Imran Khan's party. And he's got his own YouTube channel. You can look him up at Barrister Shahzad Akbar, and you'll find everything about him. But
sorry, could you just spell that?
Yeah, it's Barrister. You know Barrister, right? So Shahzad is SHAHZAD. So it's Sierra Hotel Alpha Hotel Zulu Alpha Delta is the first name, and his surname is Akbar Alpha Kilo Bravo Akbar Alpha Romeo. All right, so that's his. Shahzad Akbar. But Tony, the funniest thing, the very next day, yesterday, I've been declared, the Pakistani federal cabinet approved my name to be added into a watch list of terrorists, and they've put me in. They have declared me as a terrorist for peddling out anti-state narrative. Just imagine.
Well, listen, we journalists in Britain do anti-state narrative all the time. It's our bread and butter. And so maybe all journalists in Britain are terrorists as well. But anyway, it sounds to me as if your authorities at the ISI and the military government in Pakistan are losing it. I mean, so this happened at the same time as this attack. So what does that mean for you to be branded a terrorist in Pakistan?
Well, it means whatsoever I'm doing is really, bothering them and really being taken as quite seriously. What the stories I'm doing are making a difference, most definitely. Otherwise, the Pakistani Home Minister would not be coming to London to ask for my extradition and declaring a battle against me and declaring me a terrorist. Imran Khan himself has been declared a terrorist. The human rights activist Marang Baloch have been named a terrorist. Anybody who speaks up for human rights in Pakistan is declared a terrorist as per the Schedule 4. And it's not a criminal conviction, mind you, Tony. It's just a list which the government of Pakistan is maintaining, sort of a kill list, so which gives them the authority, the license to kill, in fact. But I'm not in Pakistan even. But they're still, their first station is quite evident, actually. Yeah. Because.
And what about your family over in Pakistan? How are they?
Tony, my mom has been, she was abducted on her way to the airport in 2023. And afterwards, she has been practically kept hostage in Pakistan. She's not allowed to leave the country. And all my calls to her and from her are being monitored. And that is something which is the lowest of the low. Even don't do this. They don't go after your mothers. So I would not even expect it from my worst enemy. But my dilemma is, Tony, that I'm facing I'm facing enemies which are not noble at all.
No, they're not. They're cowards. If someone who's going for your mother, Adil, is a coward because they're afraid of you, and it's terrible to get to somebody's family in that way. Anyway, can you just let the listeners know and the viewers know what's the best way to keep tabs on what's going on with your story here, and particularly with the attempts by the Pakistani military to give you a hard time here in Britain, which is, of course, for many people around the world, asylum seekers or all sorts do see Britain and London in many ways correctly as some kind of safe haven, a place to come where they're causing embarrassment. Actually, this is what often it's happened in Yeltsin's Russia. It happened in the early stages of Putin's Russia as well. People who are causing embarrassment to the regime tend to congregate in London. So how's the best way to follow your story?
Yeah, so Tony, my Twitter profile, formerly Twitter, now X profile is at Soldier Speaks. No spaces, at Soldier Speaks. At Soldier Speaks, no spaces. And you can find me on the Facebook with Major Adil Raja. You can find me on YouTube. I was banned on the YouTube because of Pakistani government as well. I've been back. It's been 2 months, and I've already got 200K plus followers. A lot is happening there. So at Soldier Speaks Reloaded in Urdu and Hindi, and at Soldier Speaks English on YouTube. But you can find me on my website. All these links are available on my website. It's called soldierspeaks.org.
Lovely.
Soldierspeaks.org. Yeah.
Well, look, can we just finish, because it's very alarming to have your home broken into, and I just wondered if they haven't actually stolen or taken anything. Was there actually nothing disturbed? What was the situation that the police told you about at your home?
Yeah, so Tony, nothing was taken. Nothing at all was taken. That's the funniest part. But a lot of stuff have been moved around. A bit of a house was ransacked, and some personal letters which were in the drawer were brought up, put up on the kitchen's worktops, so that they wanted to let maybe give a message that we know you're here, we know you live here. But Tony, I've got military grade journalistic security is one thing, but being a former Pakistan Army, being a military officer, a fighting arm officer, and having direct help from the specialist police, my security protocols are very well laid down. I cannot give you any further details, but they made a mistake. They made a big mistake breaking into my house, because as soon as they broke in, the police did move, and they did not have much time to do anything. But from the looks of it, from what the police have told me, since I've not been there, and I'm away, I'm not in England. So as I told you, what I've been told and what we've been seeing on video is that well, they have moved stuff around, and they just wanted to send a message that we can get to you. Well, my message back to them is, bring it on, bring it on.
Yeah. Okay, Adil Raja, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Tony. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Okay.